Driving while gaining! How to train a noob. Here, fishy, 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 fishy.
I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. You best be making some gains. You best be making some gains when you walk, when you talk, when you sleep, and when you creep. Let's make some gains right now while we're driving.
Welcome to Driving While... That's right, gaining. Good, you're getting good at this. You're getting good at this. This episode is geared a little bit more towards, people that are trying to get into the fitness field, and also to those that are professionals. If you don't know already my credentials, that I taught certification for NASM for years. I also have taught many certifications and workshops for Beachbody, doing P90X and Insanity. And I've done it in my private workshops. So I've taught a lot of professionals. I teach gym owners, I teach personal trainers how to be personal trainers to get certified. So another reason for my breadth and the wealth and the width and the depth of my knowledge. So I want to discuss a very important topic. I want to discuss personal trainers and training a client for the first time. And this applies to people also that are looking or interested in hiring a personal trainer. When you're looking for someone that is going to be in physical contact with you, that's training you for the first time, let's look at this in terms of the actual physical activity, the exercise, not so much the, all the other preliminaries. Talk directly about the first time you train them or you get trained. It's very important, I say this a lot, it's important never, ever, 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 ever to underestimate how out of shape someone is. I don't care who it is, I don't care what they look like. If they're coming to you for the first time, it is your responsibility, as well it is of the client, it's your responsibility to know that you are out of shape, you don't know what's going to happen to you, you're not trained, okay? You're not trained. So it depends on what you're doing. If you are very well versed in exercise, you still haven't worked with this person. You might not have done the order of the exercise in the same fashion as that they are going to deliver to you. In other words, you have to be careful. You have to be careful with the application of certain exercises. There's ways to get sore that you can cause damage, and it might not be from an exercise that you've never done before. It could be the order, it could be the repetitions, it could be the rest periods. It could just like the overall volume of just doing too many sets of one thing, too much weight on one exercise that you've never done before. So the trainer doesn't know you, you don't know the trainer, and you're in a whole new different environment. Let's assume that the client, you or if it's your client, let's assume that that person does not have, you're not training me, you're not training someone who has done a lot of different types of training, who is well trained, who you can push, who has good form, who has limited amounts of compensations, who has good range of motion, no prior major injuries, nothing really, no surgeries, blah, blah, blah. So you have someone who is generally a lower risk client. Now you're saying you have a high risk client, someone you don't know, someone who's out of shape, looking to get in shape, looking to start training, looking to start exercising, being physically active. When I say don't exercise, train, and you should. So this is what we're talking about. So you're actually performing an exercise program. It's very important to not underestimate how out of shape someone is. So you have to be careful. Be careful mostly of failure. Okay? Let's say you use good form. Doesn't matter if you're the trainer or the client. Let's say there's good form at play. There's good rest periods. There's proper hydration. There's proper stretching and warming up. Doesn't matter if you're going to physiological failure, if you're going to the last final rep, if you're doing as many as you possibly can. You're going to that absolute limit, you are going to cause trauma. You're going to that traumatic point where there's no return, there's nothing extra. Failure means there is no more. There's no more. There's nothing more you can do. The muscles have nothing left. Do you understand how severely stressful that is for the body? physiologically, for the brain and for the muscles. That is a limit. That is, there's nothing left. There's nothing after that. You're at the end of the rope. The candle has burned out. It's called failure. The muscle cannot perform another rep at that intensity. Do you understand what failure fucking means? Well, good. And you should, because I just told you. If not, pay attention again. Failure is the end of the line. There's no more track. You're done. The train's going to go off the rails. There's nothing. The glass is empty. You drank all the water. You drank all the beer. You drank all the whiskey. You ate all the Sour Patch Kids. You ate all the Sour Patch Kids and you'd offer me one? Can you tell that I just worked out and I'm hungry and I've been in traffic and I'm not home yet? Still love me? I know you do. That's why you're here. That's why you're on DWG 26 or 27 or 59, whatever the heck this is. Because we're repping it out and you love it. Failure is severe. Failure is really, really severe. Don't underestimate how intense that is for the body. So, that being said, make sure that when you're training someone very, very hard, they are well trained. They have experience. They have experience with that intensity. They have experience with that failure. If you're training someone new, less is more. Undertrain. Try to undertrain. First off, you don't know their injuries really. You don't know their reactions. You don't know their limits. You don't know anything about them. Over time, a client-trainer relationship is very important because it builds. It builds and develops, and you learn each other. You learn reactions. You learn facial expressions. You learn how much weight they can handle, their response after doing certain exercises, certain weights and certain orders of training and certain workouts. You know how sore they are, how they felt the next day, how they reacted, how they progressed. You get to know them so you can train them better. A proper trainer-client relationship gets better as it goes on, not worse. So, and it can go one way or the other depending on many different factors. It's like a there's a lot of different factors when it comes to trainer-client relationships. So make sure that if you're training someone or if you're being trained, that you're not going to failure. You're doing less than you should. If you don't think you did enough, you did the right amount or too much already. So stop before you feel like you're done. Rest before you feel tired. Don't go to that final rep. Don't do 5 sets. Don't do a lot. Do a couple things here and there, and that's it. Do it with good form. Learn, practice, but undertrain yourself. If you focus on the goal of undertraining, the whole thing with starting out is the consistency, is making the habit, making the conscious effort to be at the gym at a certain time on a regular basis. If you go to the gym, warm up, stretch, do 50 push-ups, do some hip bridges, do a plank or two and leave, you just schedule time out of your day to be dedicated to that craft. And then as you progress and you get better and you start adding more and more and more, guess what? It becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle, and boom, you're well on your way to your goal. You're well on your way to transforming your body and changing your life. The biggest killer, one of the biggest killers, is overdoing too much. And guess what? You have a great workout, you feel good. Wow, this is awesome. I feel so rested, I feel so strong. Yeah, you know why? Because you've never done a fucking thing in your entire life. The client's never done a damn thing in their entire life. Of course they feel rested and great. Their muscles are brand new. But guess what? They're also obliterated. And then all of a sudden they can't move for 5-6 days. How do you create a habit if you put them in the ground and they can't walk, or they get, wow, I got such a good workout, I'm sore? That's one of the downsides to CrossFit, to this shit, is when you do these total body intense fucking workouts with exercises that no one should do. There are top D1 football programs that don't do cleans until their later years because they're high-risk injuries, and you have people coming off the streets that sit at a computer desk 45, 50, 60, 70 hours a week doing powerlifting. It's absolutely goddamn fucking ludicrous. And trainers at these gyms, these low-end trainers that are undereducated and underexperienced, are doing medical movements and overloading the body, which can cause lifelong injuries and potentially, of course, even death. And they're overtraining people. So less is more, especially at the beginning. Get to know someone, practice, ramp up, and that's it. That's it. Make sure that you undertrain. Undertrain is the word. When you're starting out, when you're training a client or you're the client, undertrain. Undertrain. Get consistent. Be able to work out every day. Make the habit, make it a part of your life, and you get to your goals. So see you next time. DWG, boom, 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 out. I love talking about this stuff. I think it's so important. I'm going to the gym. I just see these guys in the gym. I see them training. LA Fitness. It doesn't matter where it is. I see these guys, and I can tell in 2 seconds. I can tell when someone's an entry level trainer. You know, I can tell when someone is experienced and they're working at one of these gyms, and that's fine. I mean, everyone has their own preference and their own life, you know, direction and their own path. I mean, it's no big deal. You can be really experienced and have degrees up the ass and work at LA Fitness. There's nothing wrong with it. It's your choice. But I can tell from a mile away when someone doesn't know what they're doing. I can tell by their attention to their clients. You know, there's a lot more to personal training than just, you know, knowing, this is how you do a squat. It doesn't matter if you know, do they know? Can you convey that? Can you cue them? Can you tell them things? Can you show them without getting in their personal space? Can you show them without making any sexual innuendo, without making them feel uncomfortable? Can you show them, and do you know how to adjust them during the set? Do you know when to stop the set completely? Do you know how to spot someone? There are many different concepts, or many different subtleties that most people aren't aware of. You know, you can't learn all this stuff in a book. Jesus, did I just go through a school zone that fast? I don't think so. You know, you absolutely cannot underestimate the fact that people are so out of shape. They're so out of shape. You know, they're so out of shape. They're coming to you for help. They're coming to you for help, and you know, it's just reckless to not value that help and not have the education and the mindset to really truly help them. And it's not about going hard all the time. It's not about, you know, just blasting themselves. It's not about being sore. Soreness is a terrible measurement of progress or a successful workout. And you know, it's just really important to be safe. Safe, longevity. This is a life choice. This is a lifestyle change. It's not a short-term. There's no short-term fix. There's no short-term results. Okay, so it's just something that you have to pay attention to and be aware of if you're getting into this industry and if you're looking for a trainer.